Yo, yo, yo. Igor Dre, but you can call me Dre. And today we have something totally different. It's going to be a VOD review. Shout out to Duels Inc. for making this possible. This is going to be a VOD review of Amethyst versus Amethyst Steel. If you guys like the video, like it. If you guys like my channel, subscribe to it. Stream every night at 8 p.m. Every weeknight, I should say. Sorry, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. And yeah, go through, check that channel out. Give it a follow. Subscribe to me if you want to, follow me along and just see how I record these videos in person. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I mean, this is, like I said, Amethyst versus Amethyst Steel. I feel like it's a proper matchup, but let's see what we got going on. So it looks like with my starting hand, again, this was last night. Basically just playing on the rank grind ladder. And also, by the way, if, in the future, which I'm pretty sure they're going to implement, you guys want to send in your VOD review videos for me to review as well, too. That's something that I could do. I would love to be able to do that. But yeah, we can talk about that in the future. So, okay, let's go ahead and go over the hand. So it looks like we have Iago, Grandmother Willow, Elanwi, Tigger, Cheshire Cat, Elanwi, Iago. This is pre-mulligan, so normally with this deck, what I like to do especially is if I see this, like a double Elanwi and a Willow, it's like a snap keep, because the dream is to be able to play down Elanwi, Willow, and then Elanwi on 2, right? After that, like depending on what you're seeing in the matchup, because it's blind, normally I would probably just keep the Tigger just in case if it's aggro. If you're expecting more of Blurple, you keep the Iago, right? So that's kind of the idea. Let's see what I end up doing. Let me see if this actually hits play. Okay, so it looks like I ended up just keeping these 3 because I was going in blind. So I was keeping these 3, and then I have the other ones as well too. Looks like I ended up hitting the Genie, the Dumbo, and the Hades, which is still pretty good. So my opponent inks Elsa, plays Olaf. Usually if you see the Olaf, you can already tell that's probably Amber Steel. So Amethyst Steel. So I'm already kind of clocking that this is Amethyst Steel at some point. So I ink the Demona because the Demona usually isn't good going a second into Amethyst Steel. You want to be able to Demona when you're going first, so that way you can get your or ramp up to the Demona as fast as you can going first, not going second, because a lot of times it feels pretty bad later on. So looks like he goes out and plays a Christopher Robin, chooses not to quest with Olaf because he doesn't want me to crash my Elanwi in. Willow play Elanwi, like I said. He's on his turn 3, so he ends up playing out the White Rose. Now here it looks like I have like a couple options. I think probably what I end up going for is the Tigger here to be able to bounce back the Robin. If not, I just get down the Genie. The reason why I want to go Tigger here is because if he just goes Genie on his turn, right? So say he plays out his Genie here and then sings Strength of Raging Fire to take out my Genie, then I just have these 2 left. He has a Genie, a White Rose, a Robin, and Olaf, and I'm pretty behind. So I think it's probably best if I play the Tigger here, bounce back his Robin. So that way it's a little harder for him to be able to just strength me straight out, right? So I ink the Mowgli. Looks like I do end up playing the Tigger. I resolve the Tigger bounce. I bounce back his 2 drops, so then he ends up having to ink, and now he's going to play out a 4 cost, I'm assuming. Boom. It plays out of Yzma, so it's nothing too crazy. The coolest part about this is that the Tigger is able to trade into the White Rose, and if not that, the Elanwi quests to be able to pump another Elanwi to take out the White Rose, and it kind of puts them on the back foot. This is what you want versus the Purple Steel deck. You just want to make sure that their strength isn't live, like as much as possible. As much as possible, you're just trying to remove bodies, so that way it's like not easy for them to try to clear your bodies. So looks like he ended up taking back the quest, and he sang with strength, so he actually did end up having the out to my White Rose. So now we have a couple options here. Because I have the Willow up, I'm able to ink a card and play down this Elsa. That's probably what I do. So let's see. So end up inking card. I play down the Elsa. Now the real question is, what do I tap down here, right? It's probably the Yzma, because we don't want him to be able to draw to get to refill his hand. So he taps down. We tap down the Yzma. The Elanwi quests gives it to the Elsa. Elsa's gonna probably take out the Yzma. That is exactly what happens. So I think the next line here that I end up going for, it looks like I'm gonna quest Elanwi, give it to the Willow, and the Willow's gonna take out the White Rose. This is again just following the same game plan. You want to make sure they're off Strength of Raging Fire as much as possible, even if it means getting rid of your Willow. I think that's fine considering what's in my hand right now. I have enough ink to play both of the cards next turn, so either way I have the choice to be able to do so. So now I'm looking pretty good. He ends up playing his own Elsa, takes out my Elsa. Maybe not the best situation for me to be in now, looking back, right? Because now all I have is Elanwi. But I think it's fine because not only do I have a Genie to just be able to follow up, honestly, it's still okay. And if he decides to trade the Olaf here, it's like good for me. Oh, which he does end up doing. So he ends up trading the Olaf here, and now I just have Elanwi, and he just has an Elsa, which is totally fine for me to play through. So I end up playing the Hades, targeting the Elsa, so that way, like, if he ends up giving it to me, you know, we're both in a top deck war, but I have a genie, and then if he ends up giving me the draws, then obviously, you know, I'm ahead. So he doesn't give me the draws. He puts the card underneath. I quest for 1. Go into 3. He looks like he also has his own genie, which is pretty good for him. I end up playing my genie, draw, play the Elanwi. Elanwi really good here because, like, if he ever decides to turn this sideways, my genie is always contesting it, and I have an Iago coming up. He plays out another genie. It's a little scary because he has double genie on the board, and then he triggers his dock, which is pretty nice because he's able to refill his hand. I end up playing out Iago. Iago challenges, or basically, what's it called? Is always threatening both of these genies. So the Iago's really good here. I'd have to hope he doesn't have the strength. I quest with the Hades because I think it's safe to do so, because what he'll have to do, he'll go like dock, genie, which is like really bad for him. Yeah, that's like never good. So Hades is pretty safe to quest here. So this is where the game kind of changes a little bit. Angel's a good card, don't get me wrong, but I think the card that's really going to start bodying me is the Lexington. He has better evasive damage here than I do, technically, even though I have the Iago, because the Iago is technically fragile. So him being able to Lexington me at any point in time is scary. Lexington swinging to me. So it kind of freezes me a little bit. Like, I can turn the Iago sideways and bait out his Lexington to try to get rid of it. So that's probably what I end up doing. Yeah, so I end up going Dumbo ability, get the draw to get that extra body, and then the Hades go sideways. So this is kind of how you want to think about it when you're playing, is you want to make sure that, like, if they have a board that they're, you know, that they have to contest into you, especially if you're ahead in lore, you want them to start contesting into your board. Basically, it's the same concept as chess, where it's like, if you're up a piece, you want to you want to start having them trade with your pieces, because that makes it still so you're still up a piece in the exchange. So he ends up pitching a card and then trading his Iago. So that's 2 cards for 1 Iago, and I'm still up the lore. And then he ends up questing with the genie, which I think is incorrect. I mean, yeah, like, he gains the 4 lore, but, like, the reason why he's still in this game is because it's not easy for me to take out double genie, right? Like, my Iago, he doesn't know I have another Iago, but my Iago is gone now. It's tough for me to take out both of those genies if I turn my genie sideways in. I only swing 1 genie in, and I have to pump it with Elanwi just to do it, and then his other genie could take out my genie, and then I have no genie, right? Man, I've said genie like 17 times already. It's insane. Anyways, yeah, like, that's why I don't really like him turning it sideways here, because now he's kind of offering me the genie. But I mean, he doesn't know what I have, right? So I end up doing the Dumbo ability. I find the Elsa, which is huge for me here. Another reason why it's, like, not smart to turn things sideways, because now, like, he has opened it up so that not only do I kill his genie without having to tap it down, I can tap down his dock and swing with my Hades over it, which I end up doing. So now I'm super ahead. I just quest out. Now he has to do a lot just to be able to clear this genie. He has, like, angel ability, genie in. That's just, like, so much work, right? So he's, like, overworked. He does find Demona. Demona's pretty good here. I ink. I play my own Demona. I swing my Hades in, which is pretty good. His Demona, I believe, is frozen here. But I use both of my evasive bodies to take out the genie, and then I use, because I'm at 11 lore, you know, you always have to be conscientious of what lore you're at this point in time. You can go genie genie to be able to quest rather than genie to be able to draw off the Dumbo. It's better here to gain that extra lore rather than to get that extra draw, because you're kind of already ahead. Plus, you have your own Demona, so if he ends up resting the Demona, like, it's more of a reason for my cards to just be frozen, right? His Demona's frozen. He goes Elsa. He taps it, so now my Demona's for sure frozen, right? But now it looks a little bit better. I draw into the Ohana Means family. That is huge. Ohana is insane here, because I'm able to, like, at least activate this to draw for 4. If I don't do that, I can always just Cheshire and move the damage to kind of get rid of stuff. But I think draw for 4 sounds pretty hot, so I probably do that. I do end up doing that. I draw into the out for the evasive units, which is super free. I end up slamming it and just getting rid of the Elsa. Ink that, play the tree down to get as many bodies as possible, get some quests. Now he is like hard losing, because even though he has the Lexington that's challenging the genie, he doesn't have that many evasive units on the board. My Demona's still here, even though it's not going to restand next turn. I can just keep putting out bodies on the board to make it so that I can just you know, try to end the game. It doesn't look like he has any real removal here. He quests for 2 with the Demona. I just kind of ignore him, I think, at this point, right? Yeah, so I just bounce. I bounce the Pocahontas back, so he doesn't have the extra swinger, I mean. And then I play the Cheshire. Cheshire moves 2 damage from the Lexington to kill the Captain Hook, I'm assuming. Yep. So that way he just has less swingers. And then I just go sideways. I'm just trying to make it as hard for him as possible to be able to clear my board while I'm at 18. And that's, like, the whole point of it. So this is super over. Cool. And that's game 1, what it's looking like. That's game 1. So we'll go ahead and go into game 2 here. Recording again. Okay, so now we're here again with the opener hand. It looks pretty weak. I think I'm on the draw here. Yeah, I should be on the draw because I just lost that one, obviously, or I just won that one. So I think probably what you end up keeping in this situation is just Genie Elsa, so that way you can at least contest their Genie Elsa to the best of your ability. They kill your Genie first, obviously, but like they trade in, so then that way at least you can kill the Genie. But like the rest of these cards I probably don't want to keep, so let's see what I end up keeping. I do end up keeping the Genie Elsa. I have Willow, World's Greatest, Tigger, Cheshire Cat, and another Tigger. So it sucks that I don't see the Elanwi. I probably really want to see the Elanwi at this point, at some point in time, but I think it's okay. I at least get the Willow down, which is nice. He plays down Olaf and Pocahontas. The Pocahontas is really good here. It's pressuring me pretty heavy. It's going to pressure me pretty heavy, because if I ever turn a Genie sideways or anything, like I'm like in a bad spot, right? Pocahontas triggers, resolves, targets the Olaf. He gains an extra 2 lore off of that. I'm able to bounce back the Pocahontas here and then swing the Willow into the Olaf. I think that's decent because I'm kind of just trying to keep him off the board again. Like I said, I don't want him to be able to strength me. I also don't want him to ever be able to bounce back like a Doc later on in the game. So I think my Willow is like okay to be used there. I think it's arguable only because I have the Elsa coming up. I could have possibly played the Elsa a little earlier, but with the only thing I'm able to swing with being Tigger, maybe it's not that good depending on what he plays, especially if he plays an evasive unit here. I could have cleared the Cheshire if I did that, so maybe that's something to think about. The Yzma's here. I played down the Iago because I just want to be able to swing over something. If he strengths me, it's pretty bad. It looks like he just doesn't have the strength. He goes for the Hades to target my Iago. Obviously, I'm going to give it to him here. I need to be able to stay on the board, so I'm going to go ahead and give him some draws. He doesn't draw into the strength, which is good for me. I go ahead and I play down the Elsa. I'm probably going to tap the Cheshire. Yeah, the Cheshire, if not the Yzma. Yeah, the Cheshire is just a little bit more threatening. He has a lot of cards in his hand already, so I don't really care too much about the Yzma. Okay, so he ends up playing a Genie and a Pocahontas. Now, this is really threatening for me because Genie next to Pocahontas is terrifying. I think this Pocahontas is probably going to be the reason why I lose this game, if I remember correctly, because these Pocahontases are just insane, right? I do end up drawing the Ohana, but I don't want to use it yet because I need to get onto the board because I see what's coming. So I'm able to use the ability to get a draw. The Dumbo ends up giving me some draw power as well too, which is pretty good. I draw again with the Iago just to be able to see what I get next. I think, honestly, I just do that with both at the start, so that way I get as much information as possible before I make a play. Usually you want to do that. You want to play as open as you can. So, like, as you can see, this board is extremely threatening. Like, it doesn't look like it from what you're looking at on the outset, but, like, if a single Genie goes sideways, both of these Pocahontases target the Genie and they gain 3 lore each. So, in total, that's, what, 8 lore by itself, not counting the second Genie. Like, that's just insane, right? So, like, I can already see, like, you can already see the writing on the wall or where he's trying to go with this. So, I end up inking the Genie. I do the abilities to be able to play out my guys. I think what ended up happening here was I Ohana to get more cards in my hand. That might have been a mistake. I think if I even play the Genie, though, maybe it's like not too crazy. The issue is if my Iago dies for free at all, then I'm in a bad spot, right? So he ends up triggering both of the Pocahontases on one Genie and goes for a crazy swing. Ends up questing with the Yzma as well too, which has been sitting there for a while. So now he's at 15 lore already, which is just pretty screwed for me. I just don't have the amount of bodies that I need to be able to take this out. So I Elsa into the Pocahontas. Play the Elanwi. Iago swings in. Pocahontas gets crashed with the Dumbo. I don't really have a choice there. Like, I need to clear like the best bodies as I can. Hades gets played. Again, I think this might also be a misplay as well too. Like I said, if I played the Hades first, there's a chance that he gives it to me because he doesn't see how I'm gonna swing in. So like the information, I'm giving him free information. Like I think what I'm supposed to do if I'm playing it correctly is I'm supposed to play out the Hades, target a body. He thinks, do I want to give him this body or not? Most likely not, because he's already in the lead by 15, so I think he just never gives it to me. But at least it like kind of gives you that opportunity for your opponent to make the mistake, right? Ends up playing down an Olaf in a Doc and plays a Cobra. It's super over at this point, so that game is ended super fast. This deck on the draw, man, no matter what deck you're playing, even if you have a good matchup, it's just tough to beat. So cool, and we go on to the next game. Okay. And so now we're on the last game. Game 3, it looks like my hand is Horseman Strikes, Cheshire Cat, Elsa, Demona, Horseman Strikes, Tigger, and Willow. Knowing me, I feel like I either keep the Willow and the Tigger or I keep the Willow and the Elsa. Just because obviously I know what I'm playing against. I think the Tigger is really strong here, especially going first, because you're not only are you able to mess up their tempo, but Tigger being a 4/3 is just huge to be able to swing over something. So I feel like that's what I end up keeping. Willow's just really good in this hand, obviously in general, but also playing down the Elsa is also strong. So maybe I keep all three. That might be the option, but let's see what I do. Okay, it looks like I did end up keeping the Willow and the Tigger. I didn't keep the Elsa, but I ended up drawing to all of my Willows, which is definitely interesting. It can be pretty bricky at some point. The Tigger's probably going to come down at some point as well, too. So we'll see how I play it out. I go Ink the World's Greatest, pass. He plays the Christopher Robin. The new underdog ability is pretty good. I go Willow. It looks like I drew into the 1-drop, which is pretty good. That is actually huge for me because now he's scared. Like if I have Genie, my Genie just takes out the Christopher Robin, so he doesn't really want to turn this sideways. If I don't drop the Genie, I can just swing both in. So let's see how I play it out. He plays a second Christopher Robin. He does end up turning this sideways, which I feel like is an inaccuracy, but we'll see how he plays it. Or how I play it. So I don't have a lot of ink, so I think probably what I was thinking here was let's get down all of the Willows. Screw it. Let's just get down all of the Willows and then swing the guard and the Willow into the Christopher Robin, so he only has the one Christopher Robin to be able to quest with. If I get down all these Willows, a lot of my stuff just gets to be free. Not necessarily free, but, you know, even with the amount of ink that I have, like, it makes it so that it's easier for me to play down bodies. So I do end up playing all of the Willows. I go Royal Guard into the Christopher Robin, Willow into the Christopher Robin as well. Ink a card, he plays Lexington. Now, Lexington is huge here because now if I play any evasive units down at all, I'm in a bad spot. And the Lexington just challenges any of those evasives, like, super easily. So I end up drawing Iago. I'm able to play it for 1, which is hilarious. Now, the question is whether I take out this Christopher Robin or not, because I need to swing both bodies in. I think I do. Yeah, so I take out both. So I end up swinging into it with both of the bodies. I quest with the last one because I might as well, and I end up putting my Tigger back in because he's already about to be at 4 ink, so his next body that he's going to play is going to be small. I highly doubt it, at least. So now that the smaller threats are gone, I think it's safe to go ahead and put the Tigger into the well. So he hard plays Strength, targeting my Iago, so that way he just instantly dies. And then he goes and plays down the Palace Guard. He's going to use the Lexington to probably swing over a Willow. He's in a decent spot. I mean, he's in a decent spot, but we're both in like a similar interesting spot. I think like the only reason I'm up is that I have these 2 Willows. So basically like I have more ink than he does. I'm able to play down a Genie for like basically nothing. And then I just can keep my cards. I don't have to ink anything. He plays down the Yzma. Yzma's like okay here. It's like nothing too crazy. He can turn the Lexington sideways and the Palace Guard sideways. It's okay. I don't think I'm in the worst spot because he has these are only questing for 1, so like it's not where the Purple Steel deck wants to be. I have a Demona. I go ahead and ink it. Whether that's correct or not, I'm not sure. I think it's nice because obviously he has less cards and he's always gonna have less cards. So the ink of the Demona there is probably decent. And obviously I have more cards, but I think the problem is that he could, if once he starts swarming the board, then it might get tough for me. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really, I personally want to keep a lot of the cards in my hand though, because they're like most of my draw power, my removal, and obviously Iago's just strong. So I think I play the Iago down here. I do end up playing the Iago down. He already used the Strength on me to be able to clear it, so I think it's safe to assume that he's not going to hit me with another Strength. He ends up playing Dock instead of using the Yzma ability, which I feel like might be an inaccuracy. And he quests with the Palace Guard and not questing with anything else because the Iago is basically freezing him. So I end up playing down the Dumbo. I use the Dumbo ability. I go ahead and draw off of my Genie here because I need to get him to turn his Lexington into me eventually. The Elanwi comes out, which is going to be super helpful for me. Great TGD, thanks for the follow, man. Thanks for the follow. So if I do the Elanwi and I use that, if I can definitely use this Elanwi later to be able to swing onto his board with like the Willows that are probably not doing too much later when I have more ink. So the biggest buff that I have here is also the Iago to be able to take out the Lexington once he turns it sideways in for the Genie. So that's definitely going to help me out. So let's see what he ends up doing, or what I end up doing. I end up turning the Iago into that, which is totally fine. He plays the Cobra. He resolves the Cobra ability, I believe, it looks like. Yeah, and he pitches another, what was that, another Pocahontas? I feel like that might be wrong. But he just really wants to get his dock off, it seems. But I don't really understand why you have to do that, though, when you have the Yzma, right? It's like he's kind of just holding this Yzma up and using it as like a, oh, I'm going to quest for 2, instead of using it for like its ability, which like gives you cards, right? Like I feel like that's the correct way to play it out, but we'll just see what he ends up doing. He goes dock, Pocahontas quests targeting my genie before swinging into me and then swinging into it, which is why Pocahontas is so insane. It puts him to 10 lore. He puts his Lexington to 3. So now I'm able to at least take out the Lexington, which is good for me. He quests with the dock. See, and then even here, he doesn't quest with the Yzma. So, like, why is the Yzma even on the board at this point, right? So I use my Yago, I take out the dock. It looks like I played down my Cheshire, so that way I can get some damage movement. I'm able to use the Cheshire ability to move the damage onto either the Lexington or the Pocahontas. I think probably I move it onto the Lexington because it's easier to crash with, and then oh, no, you know what? I think I know what I do. I probably end up moving the damage from the Iago onto the Pocahontas, and then swinging a Willow into the Lexington because the Willows aren't doing too much right now anyways. Yep, I do exactly that. And then I go ahead and use my ability to get a free draw. So again, this is another mistake by me. I need to be doing this before. It's because I'm looking at the lines. I can already see what I'm thinking in my head. Like, I'm looking at the lines to be able to clear the board before I'm looking at the lines to be able to draw cards first. And what I need to do is I need to just activate Dumbo, like on the spot. Just activate Dumbo. It's the first thing you do because you want to get as much information as possible before you make your play. Luckily, I ended up drawing to 1 cost, so I was able to just be able to play it out without like too much stress. I end up turning my card sideways because he's at 11 lore. I want him to start swinging into me rather than questing out, because that's how I lose. He goes Cheshire, he goes Calhoun. He just decided to ignore me, which I think is correct. He goes to 15, which is terrifying. I draw into Ohana, which is huge. I take out the Cobra, and I'm probably going to go ahead and end up getting 4 cards here. Yep, I end up getting 4 cards. I ink a Tigger, and I probably play the Tigger to bounce back the Calhoun, so these Tiggers are going to be putting in crazy work for me here. We go Elanwi, pump the Elanwi, so that way I can trade for free into the Yzma. Dumbo trades into this for only 1 damage, and then Tigger bounce back to Calhoun. Now he has no board. And now basically all I have to do is play around double Cobra, right? It looks like he ends up putting down some bodies. I go for the Dumbo draw. Play my Tigger. Tigger bounce back his Calhoun again, so that way he never just has the chance to be able to do anything. I check out the hand. Quest for 1, quest for 2. Quest for basically everything. And then he just puts down the Calhoun again, swings over me. I think this is game on board, I'm pretty sure. If not, it's like very close. Yeah, so he has to start swinging onto me. So all I need to do is make sure that this Calhoun doesn't swing over anything to gain 2 lore. I end up swinging over the Cheshire. I probably Ohana again, knowing me. I move the damage over to be able to take out the Calhoun. Play down Cheshire, quest. And this is basically all she wrote. This is one of the reasons why this matchup is so good, though, is because I have multiple things that are able to out like the smaller bodies early when I get the tempo lead off, and then I'm able to bounce back things with the Tigger, which is obviously really nice. And then I have the Horseman Strikes, which, you know, a lot of evasive units in the format. The Horseman Strikes just makes it so that when we're in those evasive battles, you have no evasive units, and I have evasive units on the board. So, like, I can beat you purely by just having evasives as long as I have this. He didn't really play any evasives down that game, it didn't look like. It looked like he was just... He is playing, like, more of a heavy... Honestly, I wouldn't even say he's playing more of a heavy package. This is kind of what Purple Steel looks like right now, to be fair. So maybe he just missed out on a lot of his evasives here. But I feel like my opponent could have played that a little bit better. I had a little inaccuracies here and there, but other than that, I felt like it was decent enough. But yeah, if you guys liked the video, like it. If you guys like my channel, subscribe to it. Again, I stream nightly, or listen, I'm trying to stream weeknightly at 8 p.m. PST every Monday through Friday. So make sure you guys, if you guys want to see me playing live or recording these videos live, you know, you guys can come onto my channel over there on twitch.tv/ego_Dre. But yeah, we'll talk to you soon. There you go.